Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Wealth and Wisdom with Fred Belcastro from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich on Friday, April the 28th, the year 2017. And now here he is, Mr. Fred Belcastro.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, when you're smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing,
Switch,
oh,
John.
you're laughing, when the sun comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing. Won't you be happy again? When you're smiling, keep on smiling. And the world will
Good morning and welcome to the Wealth and Wisdom program. My name is Fred Belcastro, and I'm going to be your host for the next 30 minutes as we provide financial clarity so that you can create, cultivate, and keep your wealth in a tax-efficient manner. This morning, of course, as usual, we're broadcasting from the John DeVita Broadcast Center here on the northwest side of Chicago. And John, even though he has some surgery on a hand, promises to keep me from ranting and raving and keep my voice between those blue lines I can see on the screen up ahead. And of course, you know you're listening to us this morning, this Friday morning, on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS here in Norwich, Illinois. I've talked extensively about the Federal Reserve, why I've done that, just to talk again about the effect of fiat money has on our ability to save money. It's easy and it's simple for a financial advisor or planner to talk about, well, we've got to save more money or put more money aside. But it's difficult sometimes when we have that silent tax, the stealth tax of inflation at 2 and 3 and 4%, eroding the value of our dollars. The days of, hey buddy, do you have a dime for a cup of coffee are gone. You can go into an establishment today and pay $1.60 to $2 and get a cup of coffee. I remember the first experience I had with $1.50 cup of coffee. They said, yeah, but this is Lucy Lou's coffee or something like that. So I had to be extra impressed for that extra $1.40. But nevertheless, that's what's occurring. That's what happens. That's the devaluation of the dollar because of inflation, and why it's difficult for you and I to save and accumulating money. All right, we're past that. We know that the dollar is worth more today than it will be tomorrow and down the road. Get that in your mind. That's an important factor as far as how money really works. The other factor is our tax. From 1913, we've talked about the blessing of the 16th Amendment in 1913 that put that burden on us, but we didn't have to worry at that time because the income tax, as it was presented, was just for a year. I mean, it's going to go away, just like our state tax when Ogilvy put. It's just going to be. It's either for the kids or for something, but nevertheless, it's going to go by the wayside, and so from that time until today, the average bracket that we've paid is 58%. The average tax bracket, 58%. You see, in 1919, I wrote some of these down only to make a point, and I'll get to that point shortly. 1919, the average was 73%, but that was over $1 million. So if you earned over $1 million, the highest bracket was 73% of your dollar. So 73 cents of every dollar you made went to pay your tax. 1931, the 73 was reduced to 25%, but that was over 100,000. You see, we reduced the tax, the marginal bracket, but everybody over 100,000, not over $1 million. So that has a tremendous effect. 1934, 63% marginal bracket over $1 million again. 1940, 81% over a $5 million income. And then in 1945, now here's 94% over 200,000. Went from 5 million marginal income to 200,000. Why? They needed money. The government needed money. This was 1945. We had to pay off the war. All right. Then, of course, in 1967, it had dropped. We came from 94% to 70% over 200,000. 84, 50% reduction. But we've also reduced the marginal brackets to 162. So even though the marginal tax went down, it was on a lesser amount of dollars. So the point you have to make is that it doesn't necessarily, when we say read my lips, no more taxes, it doesn't mean that we're going to be given a break. They'll adjust the amount that is the height. 31% over $86,000. We have a lot of our listeners now are in this bracket from 1992, paying a high of 30% of their income on everything over $86,000. And then, of course, 2015, it was increased to 40%, but then we've adjusted the marginal bracket, the amounts of dollars, to over 400,000. We see we've just finished on the 18th of this month paying our federal taxes, and we feel pretty good about getting done with that tax. We've filed and mailed our taxes in, and so, wow, that's good. But what surprises me is go ahead, make my day. Where did we hear that from? Make my day. Well, that was wasn't that Harry Callahan in playing Clint Eastwood playing Harry Callahan from one of those movies? How about Anything Can Happen Tuesday? Bruce Willis talking about today in a movie called Die Hard. John McClane saying, well, anything can happen Tuesday. All right. And then how about the younger people saying on their Facebook accounts, Throwback Thursday, you see? Well, I've got good news. I've got good news for everyone today. Yippee-ki-yay. Let me tell you, every day's tax day. Every single day is tax day. One thing that politicians don't like is to raise taxes. And if we have to raise the taxes, we're going to do it, well, let's do it for the kids. And so people say, all right, let's do it for the kids. All this has a big effect on you being able to accumulate and save money. So when I say to keep and cultivate and grow your money in a tax-efficient manner, that's a big expression. If you don't pay attention to the tax brackets and keep your money growing in a tax-efficient manner, you're going to be eaten alive. You're going to wonder why it is that we can't we just never seem to be able to get ahead. Well, this is one of the reasons. But we can't blame politicians because they're not raising the taxes. They'll take away a lot of the deductions, lower the ceiling, but they won't raise the taxes. And yet, each and every year, they're getting more and more money in taxes. Every year, the government gets another record harvest of tax income, which they'll overspend. How do they collect the additional amounts of revenue without raising any of our taxes? Well, let me just make mention as a fact that other than the income tax, which we're all familiar with, Social Security tax, Medicare, we're all familiar with that. I'm going to say this very quietly. John probably will not even be able to hear me say this, because all the other taxes that don't make the headlines have gone up 20 to 30% over the last 5 years. All the other taxes that you don't see, the hidden taxes, the silent killers that are robbing you of your ability to save, this is what's being taxed. So we have the federal income tax, the Social Security tax, state tax. How about the city tax? How about the county tax? How about property tax, school tax, sales tax? Get the message? Estate tax. Buy gasoline, gasoline tax. Pay your water bill, water tax, sewer tax. You have a business opening up the front door of your business? Okay, a business tax, airport tax. Do you buy a plane ticket? Airport tax. How about paying your telephone bill? Telephone tax. How about a license tax? License tax. Go to a hotel, get away for the weekend? Hotel tax. 20 to 30% increases in these taxes over the last 5 years. How is it? Able to save money? You don't even realize it. Have cable TV? Okay, cable TV tax, user tax, unemployment tax. Buy a pack of cigarettes? How about the cigarette tax? You see, I'm not doing this just to eat up time. I have plenty to talk about. But these things that we don't even think about. I don't have to raise a tax. I don't have to charge people money for anything I do. But you give me inheritance tax, accounts receivable tax, inventory tax. I got to pay tax on my inventory. So if I have merchandise to sell, goods on hand, pay a tax. Got married some time ago. There was a marriage license tax, a liquor tax. You want to celebrate? How about you want to fix the back porch? You want to put an addition on? Okay, building permit tax, Medicare tax. Let's go fishing. Oh, pay a tax, pay a real estate tax. How about a food license tax, fuel permit tax? Want to hunt this fall? Okay, hunting license tax. Drive across the road, you're a trucker? Okay, road usage tax, luxury tax. Got an RV? Yeah, recreational tax, utility tax. Do you have a septic system? Okay, septic tanks. Well, how about a well? My son-in-law has some property with a well. Okay, well permit tax. Do I go on and on? Toll booth tax, telephone tax, capital gain tax, short-term capital gain tax, watercraft recreation tax, federal universal service fee tax. I don't even know what that is. Telephone reoccurring service charge, tax on energy, tax on gas, tax on electric, tax on the heating oil. See, how do we survive with this enormous amount of debt, and yet all the taxation, and we're still in the trillions, there's $20 trillion of debt. This debt, the interest on the debt, a tremendous amount of revenue the government has to take from us just to pay the interest. As long as the debt continues to increase, wow, so does the interest. Are you getting tired of hearing about the tax? Do you realize all the tax? Along with the spending increases, the government's going to have to insist on collecting more taxes. There's a point, there's a method to the madness of going through these taxes. You know, there's only one division. We could ask the president, ask Trump, what's the debt? Nobody's going to give you the right answer. The only people in the government that'll give you the right answer is, as far as what we really owe, the outstanding debts and the future liabilities, is the Bureau of Public Debt, because that's where the foreign countries go to decide whether or not to invest in our IOUs or our treasury bills and bonds. You see, remember, in the last 50 years, there's never been a year when the debt went down. This will have a tremendous impact on future taxes and on your money. Why am I talking about that? All right, I talked about how money works, the effect of inflation, and how that makes saving and putting money away for our future, how it makes it difficult. And now I talk about the taxes. Your money, understand this, your money, the dollar, will never be worth more than it is today. Okay? Are taxes going up, or do you think with all this debt, taxes will stay the same or decrease? If you believe, and if you don't believe this, rethink it, please. Taxes will go up. Does it make a lot of sense for us to delay in our accounts our savings accounts, our retirement accounts, to delay the payment of taxes while we're in the lowest tax bracket we'll probably be in for the next 40 years. And the dollar is worth more today than it will be when we get it, when we receive it, when we withdraw it from our accounts. Does it make sense to put 100% of our dollars into something like that? Don't make much sense to me. Why don't we take a break and see what Bet has to say about all this?
Dear, I thought I'd drop a line. The weather's cool, the folks are fine. I'm in bed each night at 9. P.S. I love you. Yesterday we had some rain, but all in all, I can't complain. Was it dusty on the train? P.S. I love you. Right to the Browns just as soon as you're able. They came around to call. I burned a hole in the dining room table, and let me see, I guess that's all. Nothing else for me to say, and so I'll close. Oh, by the way, everybody's thinking of you. P.S. I love you. My best to obey all your wishes. I put a sign of thank. Now I got to buy us a new set of dishes. Oh, wash the ones that are piled in the sink. Each day feels like a year. Every night I'm dreaming of you. P.S. I love you. P.S. I love you.
That was Bette Midler, 1991, singing a 1934 song, P.S. I Love You. Well, we're back with the Wealth and Wisdom program, and I certainly want to thank you for listening to us every Friday morning. I enjoy doing this, and that's one of the reasons why we're all involved here at the station, 89.7 WRHS. I enjoy talking to you and hopefully providing some clarity so that we can cultivate, and keep your wealth in a tax-efficient manner. It's important. We've got a couple of amendments, that 10th Amendment to the Constitution saying, well, the government can't print money, but we'll get this outside agency to do it, and we'll let it be called the Federal Reserve so that people think it's part of our government here. It's really some very, very wealthy bankers that are floating all this paper. And then, of course, we've got to pay them their interest for floating all this paper. After all, they're bankers. They're very important people globally. So we'll pass an amendment and we'll make it number 16 that will charge the people for it. And that's why I'm so heavily with this inflation. Because of inflation, listen, render to Caesar. The Bible tells us, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. Pay the tax. Pay your fair share. That's all part of it. But understand that if we have a choice to keep our money in the most tax-efficient manner so that we can get a little bit ahead. All right. Now, how do we do this? How do we go about this program that we're talking about? I think one of the most important things, first off, that you can make is that you have an understanding, that you understand how money really works, because that fact alone will change your life and it'll change your financial thinking. What is more important than where your money is and its rate of return is knowing how it works. You think that that's a big undertaking, that learning how money works would be a massive undertaking on your part, but it doesn't have to be that difficult. It's not that tough. First, you must learn how to categorize your money. Those of you who have attended any of my lectures know that the third screen that I have going on behind me in my lectures talks about the 3 types of money. In doing it and just categorizing your money, separating it, simplifying. We spoke about the mathematical process of the simplification of the numbers, and it's that thought process that enables us to improve our financial life too. You see, we've been given advertising. Man, we've been blasted. We've been marketed to death. Every company telling us all you got to do, and have you heard this before? Ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is find the right product, find the right investment, and that's what we have. We give you a higher rate of return, and your life is going to be on easy street. We're going to make your life better. Now, while it's important, and I never negate the fact that, of course, finding investments that have a higher return and with safety is important, the main focus always of any of this marketing that you hear is that they want you to buy something. It sounds simple. There's I don't have to think about it. There's very little of my thoughts that have to go into this. All I have to do is find a guy with the best clubs, with the best product. That sounds simple. You see, that type of marketing is aimed at people like you and myself. We're busy raising our families and going to work and with our recreation and the kids' education and the clubs and the little league and all of those important things. We don't have time to pay attention to some of this stuff. So we look for the advertising. We look for those magic, those miracle products. Let me say something that I learned a long time ago. Say, owning these products doesn't make us any smarter. Understand that. Just the fact that I have this, I have that, I have a 401, I have a mutual fund, I have an adjustment, I have a unit trust, doesn't make us any smarter. Now, understanding that, both you and I are going to need some products in the future. I understand that. But the point is that the products we have are not the center point of our knowledge. They don't make us smart. They're only the tools. You understand? They're the clubs that we play in the game of golf. They are the tools we use. Products alone will never teach us how money really works. You see? So what I'm saying in all of this is that the thought process begins with understanding the types of money that we have. If you categorize your money in the 3 types, then you'll be able to see, understand, and control your money. It all becomes a little bit more clearer. It adds clarity. You see where we're going. 3 types of money will help you identify mistakes, problems, costs, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to see some solutions that'll surround and help our everyday life. Why don't we take our final break? Let me take a sip of this coffee. It's getting cold, but let's see what we need.
Who needs you to drive me out of my mind? Who needs you? I'd like to know. Who needs you to give me chills when I'm well? How fast can a helpless heart go? I know, dear, I love you more than a lot, but oh, what I've got to go through. And so, dear, I guess the answer is simply, who needs you? I do. Each time we kiss goodnight, I find that I get so excited I can't sleep all night. I've lost my appetite. No appetite, no sleep at night. Who needs you? I'd like to know. How fast can a helpless heart go? I know, dear, I love you more than a lot, but oh, what I've got to go through. And so, dear, I guess the answer is simply, who needs you? Who needs you? I do.
Do you remember that from 1957? Well, I'm sure some of you out there do. 1957, Who Needs You by the Four Lads. All right, we're back, and once again talking. I'd like to give you a phone number where I can be reached if you'd like to create some clarity and cultivate and keep your wealth in a tax-efficient manner. Give me a call, 630-673-4360. Suggestions, recommendations to the program here, let me know. We can discuss almost anything. Area code 630-673-4360. Before we had the last break, we were talking about the tools that we use. The products alone don't teach you how money works. I want to talk just briefly in the time that we have, the greatest financial tool that you have in your possession right now, in your bag right now, and that's your ability to earn money. The ability to not only earn money, but generate an income stream, a cash flow. Like Tony Montana says, money is power. When you have the money, you have the power. And we know that from our teaching, money is a protection for many of the things in life. So it's not important where the income stream comes from. Come from various sources, but you've got to have this stream, and it can receive compensation from your career or from your occupation. Unless you work until you die, the source of your money stops. It ends. Or the time of your retirement, or heaven forbid, maybe you lose your job, or even worse yet, you become disabled, unable to work for the rest of your life. But for a lot of people, working until you die is not a good option. It might be a necessity, but it's not a good option. An income source can come from government programs and benefits as well for a lot of people. I don't want to minimize that and the need for people to receive this help and assistance. But many of us in the incomes that we produce are becoming less and less certain that it's going to be there in the future. Like pension plans, many of the retirement plans are based on the state and municipal pension plans that we have some concerns about. Social Security, there's concerns about. So where are we going to get this power that Tony Montana talks about? No matter what the source of your income, let me just end in saying it remains one of the most important things, one of the most important assets or tools that we have. It's important to remember that your money is never going to be worth more than it is today. But now I want to talk about how we're going to divide that money up into specific groups, and we'll get to that next week. In the meantime, if you have a neighbor that needs assistance or an individual family member that needs a phone call, a well wish, why don't we do it? Pick up the phone, call somebody, call an old friend that you haven't had an opportunity to talk to in the past. Come on, it doesn't take anything just to say hi, how are you, how you feeling, thinking of you, and reach out to somebody. We'd like to, of course, thank Mr. John DeVita, who's, I'm sure, in a little bit of pain this morning for being able to direct our show, and, of course, our executive producer, Mr. John Chikanda, as well. So in the coming weeks, let's go out and make somebody smile. Thanks for listening. Enjoy talking to you. Again, put a smile on somebody's face.
When you're smiling,
When you're smiling,
when you're smiling,
when you're smiling,
and the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing,
when you're laughing,
oh, you're laughing.
oh, you're laughing,
When the sun comes shining through.
shining through.
When you're crying,
When you're crying,
you bring on the rain.
bring on the
Stop
rain,
your sighing.
stop your sighing,
Won't you be happy again?
happy again.
When you're smiling,
When you're smiling,
keep on smiling.
keep on smiling.
And the world will smile with you. Let's go now. Let's go, Sam.
You have been listening to Wealth and Wisdom with Fred Belcastro from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich and the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Friday, April the 28th, the year 2017. This broadcast was directed by John DeVita, and our special thanks to radio station manager Kevin Zefalik of WRHS FM Norwich and the executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network, Mr. John Chikanda. Until next time, please be safe and thanks for listening. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Wednesday, April the 26th, the year 2017. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich, Illinois. Please have a safe and enjoyable weekend.